Yeah, so
Yes, I'm
welcome
ready.
everybody to our True Crime in Real Estate podcast. I'm Holly Brink, just here. Oh shit, I just knocked over my coffee. Take it away, Sandy.
Um, there is, if you're watching on Twitch, there are commercials that play unless you're a subscriber. So feel free to come in our Zoom room if you ever want to do that. Um, and I feel like I'm buffering. Am I buffering? Buffering, and I'm going to put my do not disturb on as well. Okay. So yeah, feel free to come directly in the Zoom room if you don't want to subscribe and you do want to avoid commercials. Without further ado, here's today's episode. Monika Glennon woke up one morning to a phone that would not stop vibrating. Not the normal kind of busy, not clients, not deals, panic, confusion. Gotta find my slide again. People asking if she was okay, if something had happened, if what they were reading was true. When she opened her browser, she saw it, her full name, her professional headshot, a story written as if it were a confession from a furious wife. According to the post, Monika had been caught. Actually, let's just read the post because Nate did a little bit of research. So let's read it together. Monika Glennon was recommended to my husband and I as a reputable realtor when we were new to Huntsville, Alabama, and were looking to buy a home. My husband's job relocated us to North Alabama. Monika works for a large local realtor branch. My husband and I initially met with her to go over our specific needs, wants, and budget of our prospective new home. We rented an apartment and enrolled our two children in school while we house hunted. Monika showed us around 8 to 10 homes, and while we still had not found the perfect house for us, we were pleased she was working so hard to help us find our home. In the meantime, I found a job and was settling into my responsibilities there. We had a last minute appointment with Monika to show us a house that was for sale, but had not yet been put on the market. There was a glitch at work for me and I could not get away. I called my husband and told him to go ahead and view the house as I could not get away. He said he would take plenty of pictures. I didn't give it another thought. I thought I could still make the showing if I hurried. I arrived at the home and went to the front door. Saw my husband's car and Monika's car out front, so I knew they were there. The door was unlocked. As I entered the home, I wandered around the first floor, making notes about the granite countertops in the kitchen, the gas stove, gas fireplace, etc. All of that probably took 5 minutes. I figured they were in the backyard. I went upstairs with pen and phone in hand, making notes and taking pictures to refer to later. When I walked in the master bedroom, my heart stopped. There, on the plush white carpet, was my husband and our realtor, Monika Nika Scott Glennon. I was frozen for a moment. My feet felt like dead weights. I immediately composed myself and started snapping pictures of both of them naked and obviously engaging in intercourse. Then I started screaming. I honestly can't remember what I was screaming. I was so upset. I'm sure it was a string of expletives. I got pictures on my phone of her and my husband completely naked with her on top riding him. Then more of them in various stages of putting their clothes back on as well. I just got out of there as quickly as possible after that. I know she thought I was going to call her boss and try to get her fired, but I didn't. I didn't for the following reasons. Monika Nika Scott had Glennon had no obligation to me. I was nobody to her. It was my husband who had a commitment to me, our children. He married me. He took vows to be my husband and to forsake all others. He was the problem in this scenario. If he had not been willing to cheat on me, she wouldn't have been riding him. The pictures I took of them made my divorce go very well for me. I got everything. I got every dime of the sale equity of our previous home. I got child support and alimony too. I didn't just get even. I got it all. Low down, sorry, beep, husband. I'm posting this because I want to warn other women about this woman and encourage you to stay away from her. Do not use this woman as a realtor, Monika Scott Glennon. She's a person without remorse or a moral compass. She is the enemy of women
I think
every
it's deceit.
okay, of women everywhere. But I've come out better than okay. My divorce was final 2 months ago. I just bought a nice house, providing a nice home for our children, and I'm going to be just fine. I want to thank the creators of this site. You are providing a platform for women to come together and to comfort and warn each other about other women like Monika, Nika, Scott Glennon. Love to you, ladies. So here's the deal, though. None of it was real. The post lived on a site called She's a Home Wrecker, a forum designed for public humiliation. It did not ask for proof. It did not care about collateral damage. It thrived on rage, sex, and spectacle. The accusation was specific enough to feel believable, vague enough to be impossible to disprove with a simple statement. And because Monika was a real estate agent, the damage landed exactly where it hurt her most: her reputation, her name, her ability to earn a living. She claims later that she went from 23 or 24 deals that year. It dropped down to 4 deals. Her business was absolutely destroyed. So here's the part that turns this from ugly gossip into true crime. Monika had never even met the woman who wrote it. The author of this post was Mollie Rosenblum. According to federal court findings, Rosenblum did not know Monika personally, had never hired her, had never encountered her at a showing or anywhere else. The story was fabricated. Even more disturbing, the husband described in the post was already deceased at the time of the alleged affair. The central event that fueled the outrage never happened because it could not have possibly happened. But the internet does not wait for facts. The post spread, comments piled on, strangers weighed in, confident and cruel. The story was shared, discussed, screenshot, reposted. News outlets picked it up. Television stations repeated it. Monika was no longer a person. She was a headline. She was a cautionary tale. She was whatever readers wanted her to be. For a real estate agent, this kind of accusation is nuclear. Clients are not just choosing skill, they are choosing trust. They're handing over keys, access codes, private information, and the largest financial decisions of their lives. A sexual scandal attached to your name does not sit quietly in the background. It shows up in Google searches, it shows up in whispers, it shows up in deals that never get scheduled. Monika did what many people do at first. She tried to get it taken down. That is when she learned a hard truth about the internet. Platforms are very brave when publishing lies and very cautious when asked to remove them. Without a court order declaring the story false, sites refused to act. Search engines would not de-index it. The lie had more protection than the person it was hurting. So she sued. In federal court, the story finally had to answer to reality. The judge found the allegations false. The court entered judgment against Rosenblum on multiple counts, including libel, invasion of privacy, intentional infliction of emotional distress, and interference with business relationships. There was also copyright infringement. Rosenblum had used Monika's professional headshot without permission, a detail that mattered more than most agents realize. That photo, meant to market her business, became one of the legal tools that helped her fight back. Rosenblum later admitted that the post was written maliciously and intended to harm Monika. As for motive, get this, the court noted that it appeared to stem from an online dispute and Rosenblum's belief that Monika held views that she found offensive. No transaction gone wrong, no affair, no personal history, just the internet turning disagreement into fixation, then fixation into destruction. What makes this harder to ignore is who got targeted. Rosenblum did not accuse give me a second.
It wasn't
A
me.
corporation or a public figure. She went after an individual woman whose online posts suggested conservative political views. According to court records and reporting, Rosenblum believed Glennon's opinions on Islam and immigration were offensive. Instead of debating them, blocking her, moving on, she chose a more efficient punishment. She invented a sexual scandal and aimed it directly at Glennon's livelihood. This was not accountability. It was ideological retaliation dressed up as moral outrage. This case matters far beyond one agent in Alabama. It shows how easily a stranger can choose you, how professional visibility becomes vulnerability, how a single post, written convincingly enough, can outrun the truth by miles. It also shows that silence does not fix search results, and ignoring it does not make it disappear. In Monika's case, the only thing that forced the lie to carry a label was a federal judge. There's something especially brutal about this happening in real estate. Agents are public facing by design. Headshots are everywhere, names are searchable, and our reviews matter. One accusation framed as a moral failure can undo years of work faster than any market crash. And women in this industry tend to absorb a special kind of scrutiny where sexuality is used as shorthand for character. Monika fought back anyway. The record now reflects what the internet refused to acknowledge. The story was false. The harm was real, and the person behind it was held responsible. Cases like these expose an uncomfortable reality. In a culture that claims to value tolerance, punishment often arrives first, especially when someone is perceived as politically unacceptable. The accusation did not need to be true. It just needed to feel plausible to the right audience. For a conservative woman in a public-facing profession, that made Monika Glennon an easy target. This is not a story about being careful about what you post online. That lesson is tired and useless. This is a story about how reputation is an asset, how fragile it really is, and how some crimes do not involve weapons or break-ins. Sometimes the crime scene is a browser window. Sometimes the damage is invisible until your phone starts ringing at 6 in the morning. Sometimes the only way to survive it is to refuse to let a lie be the loudest thing attached to your name. And I believe Nate has some more stuff, right, Nate?
Yeah, so I want to do, I did a lot of investigation on this, and there's some follow-up I wanted to share. So I found some tweets, which I thought was hilarious, from Molly. A certain realtor can't seem to move on and accept culpability in her fucking with the wrong person. I don't give a fuck. What, you'll never get a dime. And then LMAO, keep on spending, honey. You're right. You weren't a whore. Next time I go public with the hateful anti-Semitic posts you made to me, all people will know for sure is that you are a likable person. Called her the B word. You get all the judgments you want. Well, it's so sorry, Monica did win her case. I would like to point that out. And then they actually met, which I thought was very interesting. They met at like some kind of diner. And afterwards, she wrote this apology letter. I am unable to remove the comment above this woman, Monika Glennon, being anti Semitic after meeting with her in person today. I am convinced I was terribly wrong about what I perceived at the time as anti Semitism. I hope I said that right. I was wrong to have posted this and fabricated the story about her on this website. This behavior on my part was has damaged Mrs. Glennon's personal and professional life as well. It is my deepest desire to rectify my aforementioned sentiment and set right that indeed Mrs. Glennon is not an anti-Semite, and I deeply apologize for the harm my slanderous words have caused her, her husband, and her friends. Mrs. Glennon is in fact a kind and compassionate person with whom I share many common values. Please accept my deepest regret for the harm I have brought to the lives of her and those whom love her. This was the post, I posted this earlier, of what got it all started. Basically, Monica just, start commenting on this, and it raged Mollie for some reason. I don't have the exact post, but this was taken, given context, this young girl, her father died. She made a promise that she was going to go back to the concentration camps and take a selfie and stuff like that. So there's a little backstory there. And then what was crazy is I found out that Mollie had been arrested after this for kidnapping a man and trying to get money from him, held him hostage for 12 hours. He was running in the street almost naked, just in his underwear. So she kind of fell off the deep end there. Here's some of the thing I was talking about. But the story doesn't end there. In 2016, Mollie was arrested for kidnapping. Around 2 p.m. on a day in October 2016, police received a report of a man running down the street, terrified, injured, wearing only underwear. He was taken to the station and said he's been kidnapped and held against his will for about 12 hours by Mollie and another man. He said they beat him brutally and threatened to kill him over money. And it apparently wasn't the first time. Mollie had kidnapped another man in August because she couldn't find narcotics and believed he had stolen them. That man was supposedly the same one who helped her kidnap the other victim in October. For all of this, she was sentenced to 20 years in prison. So right now she is currently in prison.
The only thing that I wish we could have found out was what the settlement was for Monica. Like what?
Oh, the exact number?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. Let's see. Let me do some research.
Can't get blood out of a turnip, though.
You
So I
can't.
want to.
Go ahead.
What was that, Holly?
I'm just impressed that Nate jumped down the rabbit hole on this one.
No, he killed it.
I'm reading 130,000. You'd think it'd be more.
You would think so. However, she had to claim actual damages, and she said she went from about she basically lost about 200 grand. She went from 200 grand down to like only 4 houses that next year. So I'm betting it has something to do with that.
Oh, I had it before. The 130,000, sorry, that's how much she spent in legal expenses. That's insane.
What blows my mind is how like this could happen to any of us, right? And I always say to Holly, I'm like, well, I've got a huge target on my back. I'm a very polarizing personality. And we're a pretty polarizing brokerage with some of the trends that we're bucking and some of the options that we offer agents and stuff like that. And so it's crazy that like anybody can post anything, just like anybody can sue anybody, right? So anybody can post anything that they want. It's going to be up to the victim to pursue holding that person accountable, because the platforms are not going to.
Yeah, and all based on a comment, right? How many times have you seen somebody post something political and you just comment on it, maybe agreeing with them, disagreeing with them, whatever it is, and somebody took that and just decided, I want to ruin your life because I disagree with your views.
That's nuts. What'd you guys think?
I loved it. I mean, I remember hearing the story at the beginning, right? Like years ago. I remember hearing about a real estate agent that did that, but it wasn't until recently I think I learned like the aftermath of like it wasn't true, it was a rumor and all that stuff. So I love that you guys both dug deep into that while I was
Well, shout out to you, Holly, for, you know, flagging this story to use on a True Crime Tuesday. Anybody
Kudos to
else?
the husband too for not believing in the rumor, because the more like the more I read too, like he was standing by his wife the entire time, knew it was false, and even if this woman said, "Oh, I have pictures, I have all this other stuff," like, I mean, you saw her post. It looks like, like, thank you for having this website for women like me to, share our stories and stuff like that. Like, it seemed so real.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Unhinged.
even scarier now, like the fact that we can create photos with AI to go along with this. And
Mm.
I can't imagine, obviously, hopefully, there are some guidelines in place now, but this could easily be done to anyone. It's just, it's unbelievable. And then, you don't get the time back, you don't get your reputation back, it's a lot. Who covers it? Is there insurance for this? Like, what do you do?
Right. I mean, once you get rich enough, there's kidnapping insurance and stuff like that. So it would be nice if there was some sort of an insurance policy, like a reputation insurance policy.
And then let's go back to the kidnapping. How long has this lady been doing stuff like this? Like, wait, I was like, what? Like, we both stopped and we're like, it's like that, what is it, movie Misery? Like, what happened?
It goes to show how broken the system is. The system is literally made for criminals to get away with shit.
Yeah, I was like, oh my God, how is this lady not in a psych ward somewhere for years? It just kept getting worse, worse, and worse. I'm like, I would never like her meeting her for lunch that day. That I'm like, I would never trust her, believe her. I'm like, that's scary as hell.
Yeah, I can't
You
believe
look
they
at it.
met. I
I
mean,
can't
to be
either. I don't.
honest, like if that ever happened, I think before suing, you guys would see my mugshot somewhere. I would
Yeah,
just go beat
yeah.
somebody's ass.
Well, I don't
Like,
have the money to go sue somebody, so it'd be something like that going on. I
yeah.
can't even fucking imagine this. It's scary as hell thinking that could go that direction.
I have
Oh
a
my God.
question. Do we have my Rico bail money for all of
Yeah,
us?
That should be our fund.
We have a
We
lot.
should have a reputation fund. Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
For the
Well,
bail bonds company. My
I
Rico.
know, right?
Oh my God. That's scary. I'm glad y'all did that. That's scary.
There is
Think
something
twice
that we
before you
want to
post.
implement though in our company once we're bigger and have, everybody has these different funds like KW Cares and just different things. We want to basically institute kind of like a whistleblower fund. So let's say you're working with a client who is just a piece of shit and wants you to violate fair housing, and then you're stuck between a rock and a hard place because you can't work with this client anymore, otherwise you're violating fair housing, but now you're going to lose all this money. And so there are piece of shit agents out there that'll just, do whatever their clients want, whether they're within the capacity of the law or not. And we really want our agents to have integrity. And so different situations like these, if they arise, like I like it almost being called a reputation fund, because it's more than just like whistleblowing. It's more like, no, like what's my fucking reputation worth? Like not working with the wrong people. Integrity fund. So yeah, that's what we want to build, something like that would replace an agent's or some of the agent's unearned income by doing the right thing and dumping a piece of shit client, or in this case, not being afraid to say what they believe in for being persecuted by their beliefs, just whatever it is. Like, I just think it's important to do something like that. All right, Holly, close us out.
All
Wait,
right.
Lindsay, what were you gonna say? No?
Well, I was just, I feel like this story kind of resonates with me because I don't know. I'm not gonna like toot my own horn, but being on social media and being a good-looking female, you get a lot of good and bad. And and especially in the motorsports world,
Mm-hmm.
being a female that can actually ride a dirt bike, and there are wives that don't ride dirt bikes that already have kind of a stigma, or this story just resonates with me a lot. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, so
Oh, absolutely. It's that male, well, for both of us, male dominated. I'm in the hunting world and I sell ranches, and there's not a lot of women that do that. I mean, I've had wives literally cut off the conversation and said, "We're not buying a ranch from her. Like,
hmm
we're not, you're not working with her." And, so it's unfortunate, but we have to be more mindful in our profession, to just be aware and watch our backs. And if we kind of see those red flags. I mean, obviously, our people aren't kidnapping us, but it's still there. That's so
No, I
easily.
had a client like try to grab my tits. Like, just because I don't know, because he's my client. He thinks he gets to do that because he's my client. We're having a beer together. That's like your go ahead, you
hmm
know? And it's like if I could have like fired, like we were in the middle of a deal. You know what I mean? How do I even deal with that?
Yeah. I just wanted to give my little 2 cents on.
And
So
then I
I
get it
appreciate.
about the male dominated industries too, because in the Marines, they used to make me, so I worked in a vault, like windowless vault, and they used to make me work when I was the only one stuck on shift when everybody's families, i.e. their wives, would come to visit. They didn't even want me to meet their wives. Like I was some dirty secret that needed to be kept back in the
Yeah.
vault. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
Mhm.
hmm Yeah.
So yeah, I think that those would be some really good topics for different trainings. I love it. Thanks for that discussion. All right, Holly, close us out.
All right. When in doubt, reach out, messages if you need us. We are here for you. We all started this morning with a blank slate at 0. So go out and talk to a buyer, a seller, or an agent today. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Debbie, wait.
I'm here.